What's up, guys? Lots to talk about today. We got a few things going on. I got some new fish that came in, some fish that were moved around. We'll get to that in just a minute. And I've got some projects that we are in the process of working on. You guys will be really excited about it. Okay, so first things first, I'm doing a water change on these guys here. But we've got some new fish in, like this green taro over here. These clown loaches that'll be added to my horde of clown loaches. We got some new cichlids for the Bellagio tank. Look up here and there's a couple fish that are missing from this tank. I moved them out because the Arapaima is starting to get a little bit too big, and I felt that he might be able to do some damage to him here soon. Okay, over here I did move the Siamese big head carp into this tank over here so they could get fed a mixture of pellets and being with a little bit more peaceful fish. As I said, Arapaima was getting a little too big over there, so we brought the big head carp over here. I do have plans to bring the whole horde of clown loaches in here as well, because my dad is taking a majority of these, more peaceful fish up front, and this will be, just some monster grow outs for me, and this will go from a pellet tank to a meat eating tank. And we'll just change the look of it just a tad bit over here. While we're talking about tanks, I went ahead and changed this up a little bit. You guys remember there was some floating plants. It looked like hell, but I went ahead and redid. Got some of them back underneath the driftwood, both over there. Planted some val. I redid this little piece of driftwood to stand up, and everyone has their own little spot. I can see the fish a little bit better. While I was at it, I went ahead and cleaned my 3 110s that were back here. I still got to put the tops back on, but now this tank is back to sparkling clean, and we've got 3 filters on it plus the water pass through. Everything is looking phenomenal now. The African Arrow is back out and being his same old self now that red Atabapo pike is out of here. We can go ahead and check in on him in just a few seconds. And over here, we went ahead and put that Stanley Pool puffer over in this 80-gallon tank. I'll go ahead and do a little bit more with the scaping, but for now I have these tall plants, and we're gonna go ahead and build this as his tank for now, and this might be his forever tank, as they don't get much bit bigger than what he currently is, but he does have a little bit of an attitude to him, so I can't really have anything in the tank with him. But he is definitely a stand-up fish. He has a personality on him like none other. So hopefully he'll enjoy this 80-gallon all to himself. Okay, see, we got the parrotfish over here. This is the mated pair. We've got that beautiful flower horn back there. Now some of you guys are probably like, oh, why do you have a flower horn in there? You can only have them in a tank by themselves. Well, I've proved that wrong many times. But, we've got our cichlids in here. We've got some awesome plecos, the albino jibs. We got that watermelon or royal pleco there. There's a rhino pleco. We've got Mr. Fly River Turtle over here. He's loving it in here. There's a blue phantom sticking out right there. Albino Chinese whales. We've got the redfin cactus pleco. There's 2 of them. And then the red Atabapo pike is in here somewhere if I can find him. He's always one that's a little bit harder to find in this tank, but there's only a few spots he can hide. There he is, the red Atabapo pike. He seems to be doing good in here. Nobody is getting nipped on their fins. So I'd say that was a perfect match. I went ahead and scraped the front glass on here, and I found some way to get the tile clean. So we're gonna go ahead and scrape the rest of the tile and bring this back to a nice, bottomless tank with just tile. Because right now it kind of looks like crap with all that brown algae on it. I'm able to get it off, so we'll do a revitalization of this tank here. Look at Lone Star. He is getting so big. Perfect specimen right there. Absolutely adore that fish. Everyone is seems to be getting along in here as well, but I'm going to be adding a few fish in here from quarantine. But what I really wanted to show you guys, there we go, the Arapaimas, they're looking for food. They're always looking for food. But over here, this 750-gallon tank, I had them 2 clown knives in quarantine. One was this Royal Clown knife here that I got from my friend Casey. And then I've got this Xanthic clown knife that came in I wasn't able to get either of them eating. So I said, you know what? I tried in quarantine after I was fine with them not being sick. Still couldn't get them to eat. So I'm like, maybe some competition will help. So I went ahead and tossed them in this 750 gallon where the rays and the sturgeon all eat my prepared food. And hopefully that will convince them to start eating once again. So that was one of the biggest changes here. I had to take the chance of the clown knives possibly fighting in here. They got into a little bit. You can see a little bit of his tip of his fin, but nothing to be worried about. And they seem to be getting along fine now. Everything is doing great in this tank. There is that sting right there. He had the little infection on his back. That is getting better though, so not much to worry about there. I'm going to do the same thing to this tank that I'm doing to that 580 over there. I'm going to go ahead and come in here and clean all the tile now that I have an easy way to do it. So hopefully that won't take me too long. Okay, and the main event, I told you guys, a project you'd be excited about, this 1,000 gallon. I've finally getting around to it. I got my bulkheads out. I figured out what I needed to order, and we started to order the parts so I can get this tank online. Once I get it plumbed in, we'll get it cleaned out, and then she'll be filled with fish. We're gonna make a bubble wall for the back of it so we can go ahead and keep that circulation of water. We'll have water in, water out, plus its own filtration on this tank. This tank is 1,000 gallons, 8 by 4 by 4, and this will be a beauty in itself. What I'm going to put in it, I'm not going to tell you that right now, so you'll just have to stick around, watch and see. All right, so what we have here, of course, we've got 3 bulkheads for just capping holes. I'm going to use one as the return. This is an 1.5 inch bulkhead here. This is something I had laying around in my parts, so it's just a cut piece of pipe already glued in. So I have that laying around. I have this female adapter here laying around because I found this. This goes to 1.5 inch thread, and this can take 1.25 inch PVC hosing like I did with that 750 right down there. And I actually have that hosing ran right here. What I want to do is run a second hose right on top of this and run it back to the second waterfall over there for the return and run it right with these hoses right here. I don't have enough room to run another 2-inch line, so 1.5 inch is going to work probably with 12 to 1,800 gallon per hour pump pumping up to this tank. So I found this barb, I found this bulkhead. I needed to connect this barb to this bulkhead. Well, I know they have a slip-on piece here that goes to threaded. I have this here, and between this and Home Depot, I will find a way to connect this pipe to this threaded piece one way or another. Either if I get a male end on here or if I get a female slip-on end for this 1.5 inch and just take this barb with me and make sure that it fits. So that'll take care of my plumbing for this tank alone. I will have a drain back to the monster pond. I will then have to figure out a pump over to it, and that'll be done relatively soon. Not really much to do there. Next step is to measure and get this bubble wall cut and in. Once that's cut, I can go ahead and silicone it in all the way across and up the back, and then we can start thinking about a bottom for this tank. I'm going to do tile, of course. Not sure what kind of tile we're going to do, but we have to try and match the aesthetic with the rest of the tanks out here and the monster pond. I've got white over there. I've got tan in there. I've got, earth tones in here. So we shall see what we can come up with, and we'll make it look absolutely awesome. Just like that, we got even more fish in this 150 to go into the Bellagio tank. Reaper went and picked up just another school of peacocks, Malawis, basically colorful fish. Look at that blue dolphin right there. That is a neat one. Super cool fish, but all these are going to go through quarantine together, and then they will end up in the Bellagio tank. Look at that one. Pretty stunning fish. Even that one up there. Everywhere you look, there's something neat. Like I said, I'm wanting to take out all of the Mbunas out of the Bellagio tank and just have, the super pretty colorful ones. I don't want any of the plain Janes. So we want to head towards more of just, Malawis and Tanganyika and stuff like that. So hopefully this works out for us. It'll be a big feat to catch all them fish out of the Bellagio tank. But I do have my work cut out for me in the next couple of weeks. I've got some parts on order for the 1,000-gallon tank, i.e. the vinyl tubing. So once that cut comes in, you guys will get a nice video of the 1,000-gallon being set up. You've seen a little bit of the prep work today. I got the fittings out, everything that I needed, figure out my game plan. Now I'm just waiting on some parts, and then we will make it happen. Then some of these fish will be divided up, and they will have another tank at their disposal. These albino rays are doing phenomenal. They are all eating great, and I absolutely love them. Oh my goodness. This one is by far my favorite. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I will be doing a few more of these build out videos, just like my dad has been doing, trying to get some of these projects done. So I'll catch you in the next one. Stay fishy, my friends.